Hello everybody, welcome back to my Daily Dose with Tim. Today is Season 1, Episode 23, and by the way, Happy Canada Day! It's July 1st, and July 1st is Canada Day, and a lot of you guys know I'm a very proud Canadian Taiwanese living in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada at the moment, and today is our nation's birthday, and I think Canada turns 153 years old today. So I know a lot of you guys that are watching are Canadian or that are watching later are probably out celebrating this great nation's birthday. So that's totally okay. As a result, I kind of figure I would keep things a little light because over the last couple of days, I know I'm getting some thinking going. I know I'm rattling some of your money values that you've been brought up with, and that's totally fine. And just like what I keep telling you is that there were a lot of things that I had to detox from as well. And it's true when you're looking to make a difference, make a change in your life for the better as well. Because after all, if everything that you know and believe in so far have served you well, you probably wouldn't be really looking that hard to make that change. And again, we understand that there is always the next level. So that could be it as well. However, my point is, if there is a notion or a concept or something that I mentioned, an idea, a lesson that does not sit very well with you, you need to take this opportunity to start asking yourself why that is. Or like a lot of you are doing, reach out to me. I'm totally happy to answer any questions that you might have as well. So today, like I said, I'm gonna keep things a little lighter as well. There's been a lot of questions coming in, and every single day as I go through some of the stuff that I sort of pre-planned for you and with you, I want to make sure that I'm also addressing what questions come up as well and what you're curious about learning. And at first I said that it was going to be this week. It's looking like we're going to be stretching into next week now, so that these little episodes really do turn into small bite-sized chunks that a lot of you can really take in. Because I'm going to be honest with you, financial education, it's not like college or university or high school. Once it's done, it's done. It's not like that. I've been on this journey now, again, all together for nearly 2 decades, and really, count my blessings, been able to create results in the last 10 years. And what I've really learned is that the more you think you know, the less you know. Or some people call it the more you learn, the less you know. However you want to call it, the whole idea is that at this point, we just really believe that there's always that next level, meaning that you just got to continue to put yourself in continuous growth mode. Okay, so today I thought I would have a little fun with you guys, and let's just talk about the definition of asset versus liability. So asset versus liability. And I know there's this giant notion, and I was brought up thinking the exact same thing too, is that the house that we live in should be our biggest and greatest asset because it's emotional, we live in it, provides shelter for us, we take good care of it, and we sink a lot of money into it to make it look nice, beautiful, comfy, homey, and welcoming. All that kind of stuff. And also, over the next, depending on how long your mortgage terms are, and if you're good at it, we were taught to just pay it down for the next 25 years, 30 years, 35 years of our life. And if you watched yesterday's episode, you know that I sort of left this parting thought with you. If you are actually financially savvy, you understand that money is debt, debt is money. If you learn how to utilize debt and leverage debt and use it to your advantage, and obviously that requires to continue to expand and stretch and put in financial education and knowledge so that, again, even the most clever thief is not able to steal what's within the 6 inches between your ears. And so that is super important. However, for a lot of people, just because they were not exposed to financial education, and this is why they continue to believe and think that their property is their greatest asset. And you know what? That's not really the case anymore, as you probably already know. And so let's just think about it this way. I'm gonna ask you some questions and just do a quick self-assessment, okay? So the first thing here is, well, your house. We just talked about it. Is it an asset or a liability? let's put it this way. The way we look at it is that an asset is something that actually puts money in your pocket on a monthly basis. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket on a monthly basis. And notice that I did say on a monthly basis, okay? So it's not on an annual basis, or it's not 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's on a monthly basis. I know we sort of live in that lifestyle where a lot of things are broken down into what's the monthly payment? Can I afford that? That kind of mindset. So that's actually our very definition of asset versus liability. So by definition, your house or the house that you currently live in, if you own it, meaning that you actually are on title of it and you probably have a mortgage for it. Okay? And even if you're mortgage free, I want you to really, really think about it. Is this something that you continue to have to put money into, or that's putting money back into your pocket? Okay, so I know some of you might start to get really smart with me. You know what? I rent out a couple of rooms, or I have a mortgage helper. I've always had it, and my mortgage is paid down, and I pay it down really soon, and I got somebody else living in there. That's awesome. That probably means that you have managed to turn that into a bit of an asset for you rather than a full-on liability. Because guess what? We tend to call your basic payments to maintain a house a pity payment. Write this down if you didn't know it, or just kind of remind yourself, because it's a bit of a funny ha-ha for us too. We call it pity payments because it is such a pity that we have to pay to put a roof over our head, or a pity that we have to pay something to put a roof over our tenant's head. Regardless of what the case is, pity payment stands for P-I-T-I, or it's spelled P-I-T-I. Not exactly pity, you know. So P-I-T-I stands for principal and interest, and that usually makes up for the mortgage portion of your monthly payment. And T-I stands for property taxes, broken down on a monthly amount, as well as your property insurance. So most of the times, everybody's got those things, and if you are in a condo environment, usually there's condo fees on top of that. And there's probably other fees associated to it depending on the neighborhood that you're in. If you're a gated neighborhood, or if you're in a decent neighborhood where there is HOA, homeowners association fees, then you probably would have to factor those in as well. The bottom line is, if your revenue that's coming in, remember what we covered in day one? Nobody, it doesn't matter what you do, where you're from, as long as you are breathing, living on this planet, everybody is basically constantly assessed on the financial statement, or an revenue and expense, or income and expense statement, or that formula that we discussed during the first episode of this week. If you want to go back there, that's Monday. I believe it was episode 21 as well. So make sure you go back and review that. The idea, though, is that if you have not been generating revenue to cover enough of your expenses, meaning you're probably losing money on a monthly basis, then what that means is it is definitely a liability. So what that means, honestly though, for 99% of the people out there in the world, the house that they live in is a liability. And in fact, it's most people's biggest liability, because every single month you gotta make your pity payment, and you gotta maintain it, and it's not putting money back into your pocket in most cases. So just realize that. So let's have some fun with this. How's that? How about number 2? What about the cars you drive? Okay, what about the cars you drive? We're not even talking about your toys, maybe your Harleys, maybe your Ducatis, maybe your Yamaha bikes. It's not about that. The cars that you need to get you from point A to point B on a daily basis, okay? Do you think those are assets or liability? I think now you know the definition, okay? Unless you're a car collector, I know we got somebody on the team who's a car enthusiast, and they purchase these collector items, collector vehicles that do go up in value. However, once again, 99% of the times, if not 99.999% of the times, cars, vehicles are actually liabilities as well. Guess what? Because you gotta pay into it, you gotta maintain it regardless. Okay, and the other thing is, this is what the financially savvy and educated people think when it comes to anything that drives on the road, swims in the ocean, and flies in the air. If it moves, you probably want to lease it and not own it. Okay, and so Make sure you know that. Number 3. Let's see. How about your financial ignorance? I hope that that's actually very straightforward now. Your ignorance is going to cost you. Or the other way to look at it is your lack of financial education definitely is a liability on your whole life, because you might be paying for things that you don't need to be paying for right now. Or there could be expenses in your life that you could reduce, or revenue in your lives that you just don't see the opportunities at how to bring that into your life. And so the lack of financial education or ignorance definitely is a liability as well. So speaking of which, how about, hey, you know what? A mentor. A successful, let's say in this particular case, real estate investor, that because you want to learn about how to invest in real estate, those should be in your asset column, because they are going to impart knowledge and wisdom and education, and more importantly, experiences, and kick you in the assets all the time to get you to buy the right assets, meaning the right opportunities and deals and properties so that you can be cash flowing. So speaking of which, how about the next item be a rental property? Okay, a lot of people just automatically think that an income property or a rental property should fall under the asset column right off the bat. However, there's so many markets out there, or better yet, so many people out there that are not doing this the right way. If you remember the story that I shared with you over the last couple of days, I was one of those people. When I moved from Vancouver over to Edmonton, I kept the condo that I had there. So a lot of you guys, if you know what the Vancouver market and how it's gone over the last 20 years, well, you're probably thinking, whoa, good, you made out okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I actually sold that condo in 2010. That's a whole other story that I will share later, because the point is, yes, I did still make some equity gain from that property. At the same time, every single month, I was losing money on that property, renting it out back in 2009, because that was the year that we moved from Vancouver over to Edmonton. And at the time though, I didn't think that it was a liability. I just thought, hey, you know what, that's totally okay. I'm still working, and in the long term, it's gonna be for the better, right? However, at that point, I didn't even think that far. In 2012, I got laid off. Had I actually kept it and it was negative cash flowing, it would have created so much more stress. And even now, I know personally, there's so many amateur investors who were just basic property collectors that have collected properties over the last few years. And if they're lucky, there might be cash flowing $50, $100 a door here and there. However, they're not volume business. And so when they start to lose jobs, especially if they're in the Alberta market, and this is why Alberta is such a boom and bust market, even for real estate as well, not just because of oil. It's all a trickle effect. It's a ripple effect. It's a trickling effect. They all impact each other on one level or another. However, the whole point is though, this is why we keep on stressing on the importance of cash flow. Because think about it this way. Think about big companies like Coca-Cola, Nike, Amazon, Facebook, Google. Do you think if you go and look at the company evaluation chart, the valuation of their businesses are always going up, 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 and never a dip? We all know that's not true. However, why do they continue to grow and why do they continue to thrive? It's because of the fact that they actually don't really care about the value all that much, because what they are focusing on is making it a viable business every single day. And what that means is that every single month, they have to be making a profit. Therefore, continuing to strengthen the value of that asset, because they are cash flowing on a monthly basis. As long as you're cash flowing, you're gonna be okay. And so going back to the whole income property concept, I want you guys to really think about that now. So as a result, you need to start to think a little differently. I know a lot of you guys are interested in investing in real estate, and I love real estate, as you guys know. It's just that you really have to see it for what it is. It's basically a vehicle, albeit in my opinion, it is one of the, if not the safest vehicle that you can leverage to invest in. However, you still gotta learn how to drive that vehicle to get towards the final goal that you want. Hey, that's the first time I've actually used that analogy, so how funny how that worked out. Anyways, well, again, the last little bit here, well, is there something else? Usually when I do this part in a classroom environment, I usually make a little joke. Hey, so between asset and liability, what about your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouses, or your kids? I don't know, you decide. So that sort of wraps up what I wanted to share with you guys today. And as you know, I just probably figured out this is actually pre-recorded today because Happy Canada Day. We're all out celebrating with our loved ones, or at least based on social distancing rules. And I don't know where you are watching today. Edmonton has been raining for the last couple of days, so I'm hoping for a very green summer once again. And once the rain goes away, it's gonna be sunshine and beautiful again. And July 1st, brand new haircut for you guys. Feeling fresh, feeling good, ready to tackle the month. And I hope that this was helpful again. And if you do like anything that I've been sharing here with you guys, make sure you like it and let me know, engage with me, send me a text, put a comment down so that I know what I can give to you as well. And last but not least, just a quick reminder, Monday to Friday, every single day at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time, and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be coming to you on Facebook, usually live. So have a great evening, and once again, Happy Canada Day. Have a great celebration, everybody.